Welcome to the Drummergy podcast, episode 180.
180.
180.
We're in the 80s, folks.
I'm your host, Fred Rock Fischer, and I am here with the producer. We all know who the producer is. She was my first guest of the show ever on episode 100.
That's right.
80 weeks ago.
80 weeks ago.
Wow.
That's like, when was that? January?
A
year ago? That's a long time ago.
A year ago would be 52 weeks.
I know. I was trying to say a year and a half ago.
Dory.
I was trying to say a year and a half ago. I'm still waking up. I just now I'm getting my coffee.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Well, you wanted to know how long ago that was, and I could tell you by bringing up the YouTubes, and I can tell you.
The YouTubes.
Now, normally you hear Mary, but you don't see Mary. But she's the most popular host of the Drummergy podcast. Yes, you are.
No.
You're very popular. How's that so popular? Is
gonna be popular.
Oh, that's how it goes. Okay, well, I was going to tell you, because I'm looking it up.
Excuse me.
I'm looking up. We got fun stuff in store today.
Oh, he's scrolling.
I'm scrolling. Well, it takes a while to get to 100.
Oh,
it's okay. Well, episode 108 happened on, I can tell you.
Oh, wow.
January 7th of 2025. So 8 weeks before then.
Oh, I thought we had crossed into the new year. So, all right.
Well, at any rate, there we go.
Yeah.
The Drummergy podcast is sponsored by 12th Fret Music.
That's right.
And our buddy Rob Ridgway.
That's right.
Down there at 671 South Capitol Boulevard in downtown Boise, Idaho.
Yep.
And look, here
across from the library next to FedEx.
Here it is.
From Julie Davis Park.
There's 12th Fret Music. Now, Mary and I were talking a few days ago about when you see the entrance to 12th Fret.
It looks like a little place.
It looks like it's a little...
Because that's the door, right? Obviously. But to the left where you see that window, that's the FedEx part. But if you look at the top above the banner...
Yes.
There's a little whitish part. And it goes to the right. And that's part of the store. It goes to the right and it goes all the way back.
And it's huge.
It's a lot bigger than it looks right there.
Yeah.
It's way bigger.
Way bigger.
And of course it has to be because it needs room for, was it 64?
64.
Look at all those cabinets.
The world's largest guitar amp right there.
And there's mine. I pointed
64 412 Marshall cabinets.
Yeah.
You're going to love this. Check this out.
Do we have a new picture?
So we've talked about, there's my guitar. Did you get it? This is the guitar that she likes. There it is. There is the guitar. Wow.
You're giving me crap.
There is the guitar that calls to Mary.
See how it has a little dialy things up there?
Are those technical terms? Whip, 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 the dialy things?
Yeah.
Wow. We're not even...
You wouldn't know. You're a drummer.
Did we decide this was a Fender Jazz Master or something? Yeah.
Did we decide?
You have to have...
We have decided. We have given it its name.
So, I don't know. She's never played it or never plugged it in. You've held it and you've played it.
Yeah. Played it acoustically.
Well... Today's subject is going to be about the Boise Music Group Songwriters Retreat that you went to. But we always have to do the Goofy Holidays.
Oh, okay.
The Goofy Holidays are just that. They're goofy.
And today is the day after a holiday.
Yes, Memorial Weekend.
Everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend. And also, last week was graduation.
Lots of high school graduation stuff going on. May is a busy month.
We had a graduation. Our little Abby. Elliot's girlfriend. She
I like
graduated.
to call her Abs.
Abigail.
Yeah.
She graduated, and finished. Despite her circumstances, she finished really well. And she will be going to nail school at Oliver Finley.
Yes.
In August. So
yeah. And our son Ian decided not to go to McCall for his internship stuff.
Yes, because he's going to do something much bigger.
Yeah. It looks like Cordon Bleu.
Cordon Bleu in Ottawa.
Ottawa, Canada.
Yeah.
Wow. We got stuff going on.
He's gonna go off and learn how to be a chef
Ian.
And then find some job somewhere else where he won't cook for us.
Right now he's cooking things, but it's like the tornado hit the kitchen.
Yeah, it's like the chef's in there working, but then he's expecting the staff to clean up.
Right. Are we the staff?
Apparently. There's chocolate all over the floor. Chocolate. I don't know.
We got to find out what made this, where the chocolate ended up besides the floor. He
made cake pops, and they're in that refrigerator.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Well, I like that. Yeah. And the other thing that we did yesterday, we went to Meridian Speedway to the car races. Yeah.
That was actually fun. I was expecting it to be pretty boring. And I did get tired towards the end because almost 4 hours of sitting there watching cars go around and around and around was like
round and round. Getting
really tired.
Yeah, but it was cool. Fun. They kept the action going. It wasn't, they had.
Yeah, the last race was good. I mean, I wish it had been earlier.
Yeah,
but it was good because that one there were so many wrecks or there's debris on the track. And so they'd been going. It was a 40-lap race, and they'd been going and going and going and going, and then somebody spins out. And they got to start over again, or somebody dropped something off the back of their car, this big huge pipe, and stop.
Well, I think that's because they got hit by another car and knocked it off.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So there were a couple things like that. A couple crashes.
We saw a car get out of control and went up on the
wall,
the concrete barrier, and it was straddling that, and they had to forklift it off the track.
Yeah, that was fun watching.
Yeah,
I love Karen goes, they don't bring in a tow truck, they bring in a forklift.
Oh, yeah. Greg is here. Good morning, Greg.
And there were like 2 other times he came driving out in his forklift, ready to go pick up a car, and the car gets pushed off by the push truck.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny watching.
That was pretty fun. That was
and then the people, the spectator races were pretty funny too.
Yeah.
This guy in this like beat up little Nissan, I don't even know what it was.
Little 4-door sedan of some kind.
I don't even know what it was. And he clearly knew how to drive. And he's racing. He beat a Corvette. He beat everybody except for the Tesla.
Yeah.
And the Tesla just creamed everybody. It wasn't even a competition. But there was a Mustang and a Corvette and 3 Ford Rangers, and
there was a Subaru or something at the end,
and some other.
Yeah,
there was an Audi that showed up out of nowhere at the end too. That had
that's right.
Participated in any of the spectator races, but yeah. So the audience was disappointed when it should have been the Nissan versus
the Tesla. They didn't have that.
And the Tesla comes tootling out, ready to race. And the Nissan's like, I'm done. He probably knew he was not going to beat the Tesla.
Yeah. It was amazing how fast the Tesla would take off.
He'd get, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like, go.
Yeah. It really took off fast.
So fast.
James Harrison is here.
Hi, James.
James has a fancy Drummergy shirt now. Yeah. James says it's going to appear in some of his drum videos. Ooh, that's James. Good stuff. Yeah. Did you know that I've been around the track at Meridian Speedway?
No, I did not know that.
Yes. So X Fest used to take, or I think 1 year took place at Meridian Speedway. And
man, that's a vague memory.
And load in, we took the midline motorhome and I drove it around the track.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
So the only time I've been there, I can't remember if I was there for that, but I feel like I have a memory of it. So
I don't think you were there.
But
they had 2 stages.
If there was a motorhome involved, that means Christian was a baby, which means I probably didn't go.
Yeah.
But when I was a sophomore in high school, our I don't know, the high schools didn't have football stadiums. We had to play somewhere else. And but in the sophomore year, we got put in really weird places. And we probably played Meridian High School for that game. and we had our game at the Speedway.
Wow.
And so, which is weird because they have like these, now there's this like half circle inside, almost kind of like a baseball pattern, where the grass is, but that wasn't there then.
Yeah.
And we had to cheer on that filthy, dirty track. I remember like we had cheers where we'd get down on our knees or whatever, or we'd do like stunt, things where and our legs were just black.
Yeah. I could see why.
Yeah. But that's the only time I've ever been there.
Matt Vanderbo is here.
Matt! Oh, I'm so glad. Matt, you got to stick around.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be talking about
the Songwriters
Retreat. And I know you've got valuable information to add.
Yes. So. Yes. Well, we're going to get into that in a moment. Goofy holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Today is World Dracula Day. So for all you bloodsuckers out there.
I won't.
Today's your day.
Today's your day.
Today is your day.
Right.
Go out and enjoy the sun. I'm melting.
Have some garlic.
Yeah. That's that's what's going on there.
Enjoy a nice steak.
Getting.
Yeah.
It is also National Blueberry Cheesecake Day.
Ooh, we have blueberries.
Ooh.
We don't have cheesecake.
We have a chef that lives in the house. A chef. Okay. It is National Paper Airplane Day.
Oh.
I intended to have an airplane ready to go to throw, and
you've got paper.
I spaced it.
Mm.
Yeah. And it is also World Redhead Day. Now, you said your grandma was a redhead.
She was a redhead.
Was she a pain in the
She's Irish. So, yeah. Towards the end there, she sure was.
Matt says, I'll keep this playing in the background this morning, though I'm getting my daughter ready for school.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Got 1 week left. Oh, that's so
man.
sad.
Matt, you should be a good dad and just keep her home for the rest of the week.
Yes.
That's what a good dad would do. It's hooky for you.
West Ada and Boise, you're out. You're out too.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't know Nampa was.
And Matt, you could tell the school district or the school or whatever. She's missing this week because it's World Dracula Day, and it's cheesecake.
Blueberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
Why?
And it's National Paper Airplane Day, so you got to go to the park, make airplanes, and
she can make an airplane at school. That's what we always did.
But she's not. We're suggesting not going to school.
But he's not going to keep her home. That wouldn't be happening.
Man, you're a fun killer.
Well, but the last week of school is when you have like field day.
That's it of that.
And like all the fun stuff, like the parties, and you don't want to miss last week of school.
Right.
Although we had to pull Jude out early for his last day of school because for some reason, graduation is while there was school.
That's right.
I wonder how many kids got yanked out of school for graduation.
I bet a lot.
I'm sure they didn't care. It's not like they do anything the last week of school anyway.
So I know.
Good morning. We can see the producer.
Thomas Schuster. Yeah.
Thomas Schuster. Okay, Thomas.
Thomas, Mary wants to know.
I saw your post last night about you said disc golf. But you got hit with a driver?
We're confused.
Because I thought a driver was for actual golf. And disc golf is frisbees. So
I think.
Is there some term in disc golf?
Thomas will be here today at 6:30.
Today? Are you looking at Tuesday? Because it's Tuesday.
I am.
Okay.
Thomas, Tuesday.
All right.
Boom, there it is.
All right. Yeah, it's just like, how did you go? What does it mean to be hit by a driver in disc golf?
See, Matt says he likes the ideas. And Matt would go, guess what? We're not going to school today.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We're going to get into some things today. All right. You ready?
We're starting our marriage counseling. We're just going to do it publicly.
We're doing it publicly. Yep. Now,
I just put that down really loud. Sorry, guys.
Should I go sit in there in that other room and look at you like with demon eyes?
Stop being loud on the table.
Don't touch the table. It's loud. And then you're over there clonking around like some Clydesdale.
Clonk. Clydesdale.
You are. You're like a bull in a china shop over there.
Well, a Clydesdale is majestic.
Are you saying you're majestic? Oh, look how quietly you're setting the coffee cup down.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to ask you these kind of questions because I think I know the answers to all of them, but our audience know you as the producer.
Yes.
So how did producing become something you seriously pursued?
Oh, I thought we were talking about something else.
These are all going to tie together.
Can we just talk about this whole producer thing real quick?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
How it came about in the first place. Okay.
Yeah. Because I love calling you the producer.
Yeah, I know. But it started before there was music. It was during COVID, during the shutdown.
That's when it happened?
Yeah.
Is it really?
That's when you started calling me that. Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
So during COVID, during the shutdown and nobody was doing music, Fred and Cliff and Michaela and Alf would come over and we'd do a little, I don't know, like a half-hour, a little half-hour concert. And so I'd go out and I'd get everything all set up and like lights and all this stuff and make it all presentable. Thank you.
Producing.
And then I would make them dinner. So would we have dinner before? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But I'd make dinner too. And then I'd sit in my room and while they did their concert, and I don't know, you guys just kind of joked about the producer, da 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 da, and that just kind of it went from there. And then
da 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 da.
Yeah, it really was.
Wow.
And then we got our sound system, and I'm like, I don't know how you're going to be able to track drums by like, everything's in here and you're in there, and so I'll learn how to do it.
Yep. I created a job for Mary.
Inadvertently. Because some drummers do. They have their own, setup in there. They could do it themselves. But
yeah. Well, I
don't think the room is really conducive to that format or that layout.
I think if that was all that I did and I didn't have other drum sets in there and practicing
or band practice or teaching or all that. So there's not enough room for all that stuff.
I know some drummers have a setup where they have the computer and everything like right next to them in order to do all that. Mm-hmm. Not us.
No, we have a controller.
I wanted you to be involved.
You never said that, but yeah. So anyway,
didn't I say it by just making it the case?
Yeah, here you go. Yeah.
Here's your room. So, here's the keys to the kingdom, Mary.
It's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey.
Yes.
And so that was 2020, and my friend Karen, their family had moved up to Spokane, and her daughter had a boyfriend here at the time, and so she would stay here a lot with us. So we became like her second family. And while she was here, I'm learning how to even just use this stuff. Like I didn't even know like how to track stuff. I knew how to use like GarageBand in like the simplest form, but this was Studio One, and it was a monster of a program compared to GarageBand. And now I'm on a Windows computer and not a Mac anymore. And so there was just a lot of stuff to learn. And my liver got really upset with all the drinking I started doing that summer because I would get really upset trying to figure stuff out, trying to get sound, just to get the sound to come back out of the speakers from recording something. So anyway, in this learning process, we did a little Bruno Mars cover, and I think I played the guitar and I did some other instrumentation, and Ashlyn, Karen's daughter, and Jude sang that song, You Can Count on Me. And so I was sharing it with Cliff one day when he was here for practice, and he's like, oh, you should do the stuff that Matt Vanderbo does. You should do the taxi stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is it? I've heard Matt's name. I know that he's this person that exists in the music community here. but I didn't know what he was talking about. And he's like, look it up. And so then I started doing this deep dive. Sorry, Matt, I had to stalk you for a bit to figure out what it was you were doing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds really interesting. And then like you even have on your page, like, I can mentor you. And I was like, oh, I bet that's expensive. And so I never looked into it. And it was quite a bit later. It was not maybe a year or almost a year later when Cliff's like, well, did you ever get in touch with him? And I'm like, oh, no. And he's like, well, I'll just tell him. He emails all the time. I'll just have him email you. I was like, okay. And next thing you know.
I know Matt.
Yeah, Fred knows Matt. Anyway, so in the fall of 21, Taxi, so it's called Taxi A&R. If you want to go to their website, it's taxi.com. And yeah, I'm talking taxi like the cab, but it's an A&R. I guess they call it Taxi A&R. So, but basically they are like a liaison between music libraries and supervisors for TV shows and movies and musicians who create that music. So you don't have to go through Taxi to do it, but it's just one way to get your music into these libraries and into shows and stuff. So that's what Matt does. And he's been very, very successful. Yes, I'm a stalker.
He's successful.
He's very successful.
He's got red leather pants.
Very, very successful.
Anytime.
He probably does have red leather. Do you have red leather pants, Matt? You probably do. Let's see him. Anyway, so that's what Taxi does. And they send out, you join, it's a membership. It's actually, it's not very expensive. In that membership, you get two free tickets to go to their Taxi Road Rally. That's in November. I'm just giving some background information so they know what I'm talking about when I start bringing this up. Yeah. They have a road rally in LA in November, and it's called the Road Rally, but it's a big like songwriters retreat, musicians retreat. We learn about all the things we need to know in order to do that job and to do it well. So I joined Taxi in 21, just before that road rally, and then we joined Matt's group, and we had our first meeting like in January.
And the road rally that year was online.
Yeah, it was online. And so we're doing sprinkler blowouts, and I'm like listening with my headphones and taking notes while I'm waiting for the water to clear out of the line.
Matt says he's got a red leather jacket, but no pants, sadly.
Ooh, gotta get the pants, bro.
Matt has
like Eddie Murphy.
Matt has guns and tattoos and spaghetti strap.
Spaghetti strap.
Well,
that's for women.
I know. Those tank tops that he wears.
He just wears a tank top. No. See, Fred's secretly really jealous, Matt. He wants to have the big guns like you do, bro.
I know.
And he was so excited when you were doing bulking season.
I was like,
finally, we're going to look the same.
Yeah. Somebody that can have a cheeseburger with.
Bulking season. That was so funny.
Yeah, bulking season. I forgot it.
It's
bulking season ends at some point.
It's over.
Yeah.
He's done. It ended like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. So
that's kind of the history of my involvement with Taxi, how I got into that.
Well, Taxi that you didn't say is called sync licensing. So it's writing music for film and TV to have your music synced. But they also collect music for singer-songwriter. Like they'll say that we're looking for country bands, we're looking for such and such bands or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's not. It just depends on what library or whoever is coming at them for. So. What was the moment you realized I love this producing? Well, or do you not love it? once we got sound to come out of that, and then I was doing the little Bruno Mars thing, that was fun. Yeah. And so, I mean, I've always been curious about it, and I've always, been interested in learning how to do it. And except, in the old days, of course, it was with tape and like huge equipment. And so I never learned that side of it. And, so now I just have everything on a computer that sort of looks like a board. And so there's not the actual physical knobs and things to touch and the faders to push. And, which, I mean, we could hook that up, but I don't really have the room for it. But I don't know. I liked it right away. It's just once it started cooperating, it's like, all right, now I'm doing something. Well, ever since I met you, you're one of those people that likes to just get excited about stuff and just dive right in into. I mean, even back when we were dating and you bought a video camera and you would film all the midline concerts and you knew when to zoom in for a guitar solo and when to where to focus attention.
Doesn't make sense to focus on the drummer when the guitar player's up there shredding.
Although
you only had one drum solo on the show.
Right. But even going back that far, how did you know to do that?
I paying attention to things in real life, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the focus should be. So I don't know. I could have just, set it and forget it, put it on the tripod and just make sure nobody's bumped it or whatever and have it panned out so you can see the whole thing. That was an option. And back then, if I'd had multiple cameras, I'd have been like, ooh, let's put one here and let's do all this.
Yeah.
I'm a TV kid. Come on.
That's right. Do you originally see yourself as a musician, producer, songwriter, or something else?
A musician?
Did you originally see yourself as a musician, a producer, songwriter, or something else?
I guess I would have been a musician first.
I guess I would have been a musician first.
I mean, I couldn't have been a producer or a songwriter first. I had to be a musician before I was writing songs.
I thought of you as just a singer.
But you didn't say that.
Well, this says or something else. You're supposed to say it.
Oh, man. I'm a singer.
Do you want the script? No.
There's a script.
No.
What's my next line, Fred?
What do people misunderstand about producing music?
What do they misunderstand?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
These are questions for you.
Well, I don't know. What do people misunderstand about it? Like,
well, we're talking about producing.
Yeah.
And they're in the old days, back in the old days, that was a different role. Everybody had a different role. You had a mix, you had a recording engineer, and then you had another person that was a mix engineer, and then you had another person that was a producer, and now it's pretty all inclusive.
Now you could be the musician and the singer and the engineer and the producer all in one. Does that make you just a producer? So like Prince, he did it all.
He did it all.
So what was he?
He was a musician, I would say.
Oh, see, yeah.
I would say he's a musician
what's the
first.
misunderstanding there?
No, I think misunderstanding what a producer is or does.
Okay.
Well, I've heard, the naysayers come around and like, you're not a legitimate producer or something like that.
I guess I've just always thought of a producer as somebody who helps create the music.
Wow.
Says, this is how this should go.
Or make suggestions.
The engineer is the person who's doing all the mixing, right? Like they track it. Well, I guess in the big world, like they had a person that would do the tracking, and then they'd have a person that did the engineering, and the producer was always involved in there somewhere too. So producer was like the person who oversaw everything, right? Yeah,
and helped make artistic choices.
Like, no, the drums are too loud there.
Well, that would be the mix engineer, I would think.
Well, the producer would be telling the mix engineer,
I guess so.
No, well, the drums are too loud.
Boy,
we want to feature.
We're in the muck now.
Where's the tambourine? We need the banjo.
Wow. Yeah.
More fiddle.
Well, you kind of do all that stuff.
Okay, I guess I'm only one person in here. I don't have a team of people, so I have to wear all the hats.
You wear all the hats.
Yeah. So I can't misunderstand anything. I just have to do it all.
What was the hardest thing to learn early on? Windows. Gary Tackett's here.
Just getting. I think because I didn't know a lot of the terminology and what things were and what they did, that when we were trying to hook things up, and I still get a little perplexed with some of that stuff. Like, I know how to run a cable. Oh, the cable goes from here to there. Like, I understand that part. But it was like, there was some stuff that was like in the depths of the setup that was like, why is this not working? And like for me on a Mac, it was like just as simple as you plug it in and you go into the settings, you say, okay, the speakers and the and then you're fine. But like in Windows, there's like all these sub menus that you don't even know exist. And we were just one click away.
So do you think that
we had to have a couple people come help? It was James Lancaster. Thank God for James. He came and he helped us. But like the routing didn't make sense. It's like, well, you've got channels. Like I still don't understand this. It's like something weird about Studio One, I think. But it was like you've got channels 1 and 2, which you've got stuff coming in on channels 1 and 2, right? But then channels 1 and 2 are also the mains. Like stuff wasn't making sense to me. It's like, oh no, your mains are 37 and 38. What? Why is it on 37? And it defaults to 1 and 2. So it's just weird stuff like that. And it was when I was talking to Jeff Senega that his son's like, oh, he figured that out. He knows why that's that way because he uses it too, I guess.
So are you saying that our answer is to get a Mac?
Answers now come from ChatGPT.
Oh.
I don't know. I mean, the computer is actually, it's fine for what I'm doing now. But
so Greg says a producer is there to keep the project on track, the musicians happy, and ensure that the project meets the standards of the client and the label.
Yeah. So when I'm doing everything myself, I have to make sure I'm happy.
Keep yourself happy.
I feel like I should have a coffee now. Oh, I'll go get you a coffee.
What about when I need a coffee? You do that.
You do a lot. You come in, can you make me a coffee?
I do. Okay. Because Tuesdays.
And then sometimes I forget.
Tuesday.
I'll be like right in the middle of watching
I'll put my
something.
order in and like an hour and a half goes by and I'm like.
I'll get this text. Did you ever make the coffee?
And then about 8 minutes later, a copy appears in my hand. I'm going to send the second text earlier, I think, in the chain of
you
events.
You really should.
Yeah.
It should be within the lesson, within the half-hour lesson.
Yeah. When did you start feeling confident in your skills?
I don't know. I can't think of like a time frame, but so I joined the taxi thing, and that was the beginning of 22. And Matt had asked us to set goals. I was like, I'm going to do 1 listing a month, thinking that's, yeah. And I think I got like 1 that whole year. But I had decided that in order to get my mixing and production skills to improve, it would be twofold. It would be, I would mix these, I would have you do drum covers so that I could mix. And even though I'm just mixing drums into an existing recording, taking out those drums, it was giving me that practice, but then it was also to help with your teaching business to boost that to the YouTube channel. So the goal was I set this crazy goal. I thought, this is insane. I'm going to do 1 a week.
At moments, it was insane.
As soon as the words came out of my mouth, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I just committed to?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a good challenge. And when we started, it literally, like, we'd start on a Monday. Like, we decided Thursday was release day, and we'd start, wasn't it on a Monday? We would record on Monday.
Typically, yeah. And
I would spend all that time. I already knew how to do the video stuff. So, I would spend all that time mixing your drums. And some of it was harder because like some songs had a ton of reverb in them.
Yeah, depending on.
And so when there's a lot of reverb in a song, it's really hard for the AI to split out the tracks properly. And so then I'm having to try and mix your drums in a way with the effects and everything to like fill in all those gaps.
Yeah.
And that was a big challenge. And so I really like the songs that were fairly dry. They always came out a lot better. And then when you put new heads on, I was like, ooh, these sound so good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It took, it started out where it took me like all week, and I'd be like panicked and like trying to just get like right up to the wire, trying to finish it. Like, I think what was our time? Like Thursdays at 4 or something.
Thursdays
like
at 4. Yep.
And so sometimes I would be like, oh, I'm going to be late. And then it got to be like by the end of that year, So the goal was to do it for a year, and then I had to go to my dad's for a month in November, so we got a little sidetracked there. But by that time, it was only taking me a couple days at the most. The videos were always really fast. I could get the video done in a couple hours, but
you got to where you had those pretty much ready in about 24 hours.
Yeah, I got to where we could record the same day. I could have it done the same day. I remember that.
Yeah, if you were left alone to do it.
Yeah, of course.
But it's
really
side
fun
note,
when you're trying to mix drums while there's a drum lesson going on in the next room.
One side note that I want to talk about real quick is recording drums is probably one of the hardest instruments to record and mix comparatively to bass guitar or vocals or keyboard or something. You have a lot of microphones.
Yeah.
I think if I use my whole kit, we have like 15 inputs.
I think so.
We got
I think
kick,
bass
snare, hat, tom. That's 10. Ride.
2 overheads.
2 overheads.
2 rooms.
2 room. 15.
Yeah. I was thinking bass was 16.
15 tracks of drums.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, like how important it is for drums to sound good to make a mix engineer's job easier.
They need to sound good.
They
And the playing needs to be good too.
Yeah.
Like you need to play. I remember you telling me once, because when I was still pretty new at playing guitar, you're like, you need to play with intention and authority. And I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes, sir. But I never forgot that. And so there are people that'll come in and they'll be pretty timid, and it's like, and it affects the tone.
Yeah.
It really does. So like when you're not hitting something properly or with good, like hitting it so that it produces a good tone, then it's like, okay, well, I only have so much I can work with. So,
right.
we're talking about not doing sound replacement. I'm talking about actually
Correct.
mixing their drums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't ever done sound replacement. So,
well, I think it's sound
we have
replacement
slate drums, but I haven't ever
without getting too far in the weeds. But my perception of that as a drummer is sound replacement happens because of poor sounding equipment or poor environment that they were recorded in, poor mic placement, nothing's in tune, and
you're just creating a transient for somebody to go in and replace.
Right. Or a mix engineer who doesn't know how to mix drums.
Sure.
So the better the sound you have from the source,
yeah,
the easier that is, because you're not having to fix things to make it usable.
Right.
So I think that's a really important thing to distinguish. Now, some people will do sound replacement because they want a certain sound that they're going for.
Sure.
Right. I talked to a guy last weekend that I bought some equipment from, and he talked about coming over here to track drums because they don't have a place to track drums. Mm-hmm. And so he'll write a drum part, and then he'll go in and program the drum part in MIDI.
Okay.
And then have that drum. So he's taken his drum part that he wrote, programmed it in.
Played it first to write it? Oh.
No, he plays in a band, but they have no way to track drums.
Okay, but he played it in that he already has it worked out on the drum kit.
Yeah.
And then he has to
then he went
it in
then
MIDI.
Yeah. And it was just talking about the hassle of that. Like he would rather, and I said, I have a room that's dedicated to recording drums.
That would be a hassle.
And so I think that's a challenge for a lot of people who are doing home recording is it takes a lot of equipment. Like Greg's on here. Greg knows, anybody that does recording knows how involved it is to record drums. Gary's got
We need to scroll up because we got a bunch of.
Well, that's Greg talking. That's what Greg said about producing. We're on to Gary.
Oh, that's Gary. Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Gary says, if I put this over here, can you read it, Mary?
I don't know. It's about the same size. Pre-production is vital. It'll work with an artist for up to 3 months. I'll work with
an artist
for up to 3 months on finding songs, good relationships with publishers.
You got to be on the mic though.
As well as, it's so far away, as well as arrange instrumentation, communication with musicians, and handling studio, first, second engineer, cartage, gosh, there's a lot of that. Union, on card or off card session, and so much more. That's just touching the surface. We listened to 100 demos, songs for Heath Clark's project, but hiring and producing your heroes is a blast. Yeah.
See, Gary's done a lot of producing in Nashville.
Yes. So Gary can answer that question. So Gary, what is the misunderstanding?
Gary,
there you go.
Gary's membership card has more detail on it than yours does.
He's got a fuller musical passport.
Yeah. And then Greg says,
oof, that's weird how it's.
Recording drums is definitely an applied science. Mic placement is key to eliminate phase issues.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Phase. I mean, we're getting into the weeds a little bit about drums, but there are a lot of things to consider when you're recording drums.
Yeah.
And so I guess my point being, you got thrown into the deep end by let's start with the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. Then somebody's like, oh, it sounds like there might be phasing issues. What's a phase? What's a phasing issue? What is that? Yeah. I'm in a phase.
I'm in a phase of drinking another cocktail.
Go make me a drink.
You there, sitting there doing nothing.
I almost spit my coffee.
Okay, we're going to talk about the Boise Music Group. What is the Boise Music Group?
Well,
aren't you glad I asked?
It was new this year. It was just something they named it.
Well, we were always talking about our group or Matt's. Is it our group or is it Matt's group?
It's our group.
We have ownership.
Well, if you're in the group, it's your group, right?
That's right.
It's our group. Well, I don't know, about probably 4 times a year, maybe 3-4 times a year, we get together at Matt's. I mean, it could be anywhere, but we get together at Matt's house and hang out, talk about what we've been working on, and then he has a little lesson for us.
Yes.
And sometimes they're hard lessons, and sometimes they're not so hard. They're more learning. But like when he does the genre ones, I'm just like which genre is this? I don't know. Pop? No, it's da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh my god.
It's 72 on the list of the subgenre to the subgenre to the subgenre.
I'm like, I know pop and rock and country.
It's like subterranean pop music for mice. I'm like, I didn't even know that thing was a...
Oh yeah, it's very popular in Indonesia.
Right.
What? We've got some library looking for it.
Oh, real quick. Greg says, I don't do sample replacement, but for modern mixes, I use slate trigger to reinforce what is already there, blending different snares and kicks, usually to make it competitive.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
I just tell Fred to go grab a different snare.
Or tune it different, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have this small army of snare drums to choose from. But
no, I want one that sounds a little higher pitch. That one sounds weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
See, you're producing. Yes, the Boise Music Group.
So, a few years ago, we did this thing. Good morning, Jamie. We did this thing with our taxi group. We called it the 48-hour challenge. And so Matt found, I think it was 2 listings, and we got into groups where we had, I think about 4 people in each group. So there were 3 groups, and we had 48 hours to create a song for these listings. And the listing was like, the one that we did was like, it needed to sound like this Motown vibe. Modern, but like sounds like old Motown, right? And the example they gave us, and they'll always give you a reference in these things, but the top reference was that what's that is it called Portugal the Man, that one song? Ooh, I'm a rebel just like
oh, I think so.
Yeah, that was one of them. There was another one that was similar, and so we chose that one as our song, but we had 48
hours to write and record.
Yeah, and then the rule was that everybody had to use Fred as the drummer.
They had to have real drums.
They had to have real drums, because everybody could use, MIDI drums, but it's like, nope, you have to mix with real drums. And because we had the drum studio, it was like, okay, some of them created MIDI and then sent it to you and said, this is how we want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But we started on a Friday night, and then on Sunday we met at the audio lab, because Steve Fulton is in our group, and met at the audio lab and shared what we did. And then we had feedback like, oh, and in most cases, the songs weren't completely done. They were close. Like, they were written and created, but like the mixing was still like not finished or something, or like, oh, you might want to add this, or whatever. So we did that at Fulton's place, and it was a lot of fun. And so after that, we kept saying we should do that again, or we should do a writer's retreat or something like that. And Matt had gone to this writer's retreat in Wisconsin or in Green Bay. And
that's Wisconsin.
Yeah, but specifically it was just outside of Green Bay, I guess. And he and then a couple other members in our group, Todd and Michelle, they went as well. And they just loved it so much. They're like, oh, we got to do something like that. Like, let's do something like that locally. And so we talked for a couple of years about, like, renting an Airbnb up in McCall or somewhere, and like dragging all of our crap up and doing that. And then we're like, that's going to be too expensive for what we want to do. And so we finally, Matt's like, all right, we're going to do this. And so we just, we had our meeting in January. We decided on a date, and the planning began, and that happened in, was it mid-April now? Or was it the beginning? I don't even remember. It's been a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks now since it happened. So, but it was weeks. Opened up. So the reason why it was called the Boise Music Group is because they opened it up to the public. So we could have at the most, I think it was 29 people, because of the space we were using. So like at Jump, we were able to get space for free. And so, but they said we can only have this many people in these rooms.
How many people attended?
It was over 20. I can't remember what the exact number was, but there were 6 groups. So 4 each, that would be 24. There was one group that only had 3, so 23, but then you still had Matt, so 24, 25 James. So there were 25 of us there.
And who is James? Okay,
so James Koshin, he's a songwriter. He's got, he has some, he's more on the, I think, the Christian side of music, maybe. But he had a song that he was an assistant engineer on that won a Grammy. But he teaches songwriting, and he's really, really good at it. And so he has this, he was the one that runs that retreat in Green Bay. He lives in Green Bay. So we flew him in, but he's a big taxi guy too. So that's how Matt knows him, is he was a taxi member too. He also used to be a taxi screener, I think. And anyway, we flew him in, and that was part of our fees, was to fly him in, and opened it up to, I don't know, there were probably half of the group that was there was, or maybe a little more, was actual taxi members, like our group. And the rest were people that we invited, because we shared. So there were some people so we might have some new members in our group now.
Yeah.
Because of that. But people come and go.
So how many days was this retreat?
So it started Thursday night. We met at Matt's house, had like kind of a mixer thing, get to know you. And then we were put into our groups. And James did a short, I don't know, it was probably about an hour. He talked, like a lesson, and about, I think that was when he was talking about relationships, like how important it is to work with other people, like to form relationships, network. Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And to form relationships with people, and to collaborate with people. And he said, trying to do what we're doing on our own is really, really difficult. And usually people aren't very successful. So when you collaborate with other musicians, usually you have much greater success getting your stuff in.
So it started Thursday night and ended when?
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
It was long. So Friday was all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Yeah. So
from Thursday night to Friday, Saturday. So 3 full days of
3 full days plus the evening of Thursday.
Now, there was a fee associated with this, but why did you want to go to this?
Because yes.
Because yes. That's our answer to everything.
Because this is back to the taxi stuff that I've been wanting to do, and I just wanted to get more. I've wanted to do these, and I do work with some of our group members and turn things in. I have turned some stuff in on my own, but not at the frequency that I've wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And time just keeps getting away from me, and other things keep interfering. So I wanted to do this just mostly because it's fun.
Were you nervous going into it?
I was, actually. I was excited, but then Thursday night when I was given my group, then I got really nervous. because I got put in a group with nobody I knew. But
you were the what for the group?
I was the producer.
Aha!
I wasn't nervous about that. I actually was glad I wasn't. So when we registered,
so you kind of become band mom.
So when we register, we had to choose two things that our role would be. Like, are you a producer? Are you a songwriter? Are you a singer? Are you an instrumentalist? And so I was like, well, I'm a singer and a producer. I didn't want to be an instrumentalist. And so I got assigned producer. And part of that, I think, is because each group had to have a taxi member in it. And so I was the only taxi member in my group. And then, but I didn't know the other three people. They were invited, or they heard about it on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all musicians. And so we've got, in my group, it was Angela and Brian and Sydney. And Sydney is a singer in a local band. And Angela used to sing, I believe, in a local band years ago, and with her brother. And I'm not sure what the name of that group was, but then and so she wrote music as well with him, and Sydney writes songs too. And then Brian was kind of on a hiatus the last few years, but this was getting him back into it. So, but he is a music, he sings and plays instruments. And so I was so glad when I found out that he was competent as a musician, as an instrumentalist, because I was like, oh no, I don't know what anybody does or how good they are, or like what this is going to be like. And so, yeah, I got pretty nervous because I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, so.
What was the vibe immediately?
In my group or just overall?
Overall.
It was a lot of excitement.
Everybody was excited.
Yeah, everybody was excited to be there. And the thing about our group is it's not competitive.
I was just going to ask, was it competitive or collaborative?
No, collaborative. And it's always been that way in our taxi group. And even at the taxi road rallies, you go there and it's like you're all on the same team and you're excited to be there and you're having fun and getting to know people, and it's really great. And nobody's like, people want to help you.
Yeah.
Nobody is like, no. Oh yeah, this is what you need to do. I'm not telling my secrets. Like, it's Matt tells all his secrets. He's even got a YouTube station now that
Matt's Music Minute.
And he shares YouTube. all of his. Hello, Rob. He shares
12 Fret Music is here.
Yeah, he shares all of his stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn more about taxi, the website is taxi.com, or you can go to Matt's Facebook page, which is, I think, mattvanderbo.com, or not Facebook, his
Instagram.
I meant his website, mattvanderbo.com.
Oh, yeah.
And then he also has the Matt's Music Minute on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's on Instagram too, but that's more just personal stuff.
He's not really on Facebook.
If you're wanting to learn about taxi,
yeah,
those are the places you go.
I think Matt's Music Minute is a good place to start on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you want to know more about like his successes and stuff, his website will tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his full-time job. That's his income. And at any point you can turn on a show and he's at some point, it's somewhere, flip through the channels, whatever, you're going to hear one of his songs.
Yeah. Real quick,
Instrumental
since 12th Fret Music is here,
well, hello.
We want to, so Rob sent me this picture.
Rob.
That
Is she still there, Rob? Is she still there?
We got to maybe put that thing on layaway. Is layaway still a thing?
I don't know.
I remember my mom would
10 years later, I finally
when we were kids and we were getting like in summer for new clothes or whatever, we'd pick out clothes and they'd be on layaway.
Yeah, like at Kmart or something.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Kmart had it, and Walmart had layaway for a while. I remember, I think I actually put something on layaway.
Now, how important would this guitar be to your
well, I don't know,
to your songwriting
I don't
process?
Know. Yes, she is, and yes, what's the yes it is part?
Well, maybe I said layaway.
No, what part is the yes it is?
Well, either way, we need to go down there and hang out.
Yeah, we need to bring him another poster,
and get some
Sit
video. Get some video of hanging out in the store, and 12th Fret Music is now a place not only to get the most awesome guitars in the world, but drum heads and sticks.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes, Aquarian layaway. He said layaway. Oh my gosh! The train's going off the rails now.
For $10 a month, you can have this in 10 years.
Someday when we're all dead and gone, somebody will be running that store and they'll find this guitar and it'll have
a little tag on it that says layaway Mary Fisher.
Yeah.
$20 left.
Right? It'll be one of those pieces that
at some point
it'll be on Antiques Roadshow.
or somebody does one of those things like, I'm going to pay off all the layaways at 12th Fret Music for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's only one thing here. Oh, she only owes $20 left. Let's pay it off.
Right?
Oh, it's the best Christmas ever.
I don't know. We got to figure something out. You're in love with this guitar.
Well, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. So what did a typical day look like for the Songwriters Retreat?
Well, let me tell you.
Whoa.
Trapper Keeper.
We're very 80s.
Yes, because this is what I dragged around because it's got a pocket and a clipboard. And Matt did a great job at making this very, very tiny print. Yes.
Oh, we got the readers on.
Yeah, because he used like 5-point font. Nobody.
Oh, that is small. It looks like black lines from here.
Oh, can you see how small?
Back it up.
Well, it's shiny paper, so it's okay. So Thursday we had the mixer. Friday, unveil the songwriting challenge and instructions. So then we were given our assignment first thing in the morning, and then Michael Laskow, who is the owner that runs Taxi, talked to us for about a half hour and gave us some tips and well wishes. Then James Koshin did an hour-long class on the 12 steps to writing a modern vocal.
Whoa.
Yes. And he has said, like, a lot of problems with making your song modern. People get hung up in the production, like the actual production of the song, like the engineering and stuff, and not so much the actual song. Like, he says it's usually the song is the problem, not like how good it sounds is the problem. He said, like, people think that, oh, my mix isn't good enough. And he's like, your mix is fine. It's the song itself. And then we had like these stories. People would share stories, just random stories. It was really just more of a get to know you kind of thing. We had lunch, then we got into our groups, and our first writing session was 3 hours long, and that was like agonizing.
Why was it agonizing?
So the instructions were that we had to write a song. So it was a listing. There were two options, just like on our 48-hour thing. And we had to choose one. One of them was like, I wonder if I still have the instructions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It was, I might not have it anymore in here. All sorts of fun stuff in here.
I might get a copyright strike.
What is this? Is this it? Oh, here it is. Copyright. Yeah, that show's still running. Option 1, let's see, raw and real singer-songwriter songs that are film and TV ready.
Whoa.
We are looking for raw, intimate, and emotionally honest singer-songwriter songs that feel like they were recorded in a real moment and do not have to be polished to perfection. We're looking for songs that feel imperfect, human, and personal. Slightly out of tune vocals here and there, fine, loose timing, and minimal production are all cool. We want performances that carry a strong sense of character that might not stand out on their own, but they become absolutely perfect when paired with a scene. Now, the difference between what we got here and what we normally get in a listing in an email from Taxi is that Taxi will give us way more information, but they'll give us references. The library or whoever's looking for the song will say, we're looking for something that sounds kind of like this. So we didn't have that. So we were just shooting for whatever, like it didn't matter. And but like when we're reading raw and emotional and stuff, we're instantly thinking, oh, something probably sad. And so we're talking as a group, and next thing you know, we're like sharing all these like horrible, sad things that happened to us like in the last year or even just the last months. And we're like, and it just our group, it was all the groups. We were like having like these weird deep therapy sessions. Like, what's happening? Why are we not writing music? And so we had 3 hours to come up with, we had to write a title, and we had to come up with an emotion first. And it had to be one emotion. And that was one thing Matt kept saying, oh, thanks. I like my shirt. Matt kept saying, has to be one emotion. Cause one of the people in the group was like, well, it could start out sad. And then when we get to the bridge, it could be happy. And he's like, no, it can't. It has to stay sad the whole time.
Yeah.
And so one emotion. And so then we're like, I'm just like furiously as the producer, I was not the songwriter. I was just furiously writing down like anything that they said, like for titles, for ideas, for lyric, what ideas, whatever, while they were just throwing out stuff. And, and I just knew that like there was going to be this process. And one of the gals is like, I need a guitar. Like I need some rhythm. I need to come up with like, she wanted to start writing the music right away. And then another one was like still trying to process her feelings. And then the other guy is like, we need to work on lyrics still. And I'm like, yeah, we need to work on lyrics still. And like, and then Matt and James would show up and they're like, do you have a title yet? Well, and here, we're an hour and a half in now, right? We're like, not really. We're thinking about this or this. And then they're trying to help us through it and coach us. And they're like, yeah, you got to get your title down. And she's like, well, I want to start writing. And like, no, you can't write no instruments yet. She's like, no instruments, but I hear guitars over there. They're like, no, we told them no too. So we literally had to write, the goal was to write the lyrics to the song before we even touch an instrument, to even try to create a melody.
Why is that?
I think part of it, and if Matt shows back up, he can probably explain this better, but because this is for sync, the difference is that, like, I know it says singer-songwriter, but it still is for sync. And so singer-songwriter stuff, like, obviously it's like what you hear on the radio, but like for sync, it's something that's coming underneath a scene in a show or a movie. So it can't be distracting. Mm-hmm. So it has to be very generic, and it can't be too wordy. It can't be too rhythmic. And so that stuff had to be in line before we came up with any sort of instrumentation, so that we don't start. I guess people can fall into a habit of like, oh, I've got this rhythm here and I've got some words, but I have a hole in the song right here, so I'm just going to throw something in that fits that rhythm, even though it's not good for the song. So it was really about figuring out how to create lyrics that were not distracting to a scene. And that was part of what Michael was talking to us about at the beginning too, was like, imagine like this kid, his mother died years ago and now his dad just died. He's only 14 and he's, they're having the reception at the house and he's sitting up on his bed in his room crying his eyes out. And he's like, what would that song sound like that's playing under this scene? And it's not going to be distracting. So the reason for Now Guitars was...
Oh, I'll pull it up there, but we got Matt Trainer from San Francisco is here. That says Matt Trainer, right? Right. Yep. And then Matt Vanderbo is here, and He says the reason for no guitars was because people will automatically start writing lyrics to a melody or chord progression rather than just writing conversationally.
Yeah. It said that it had to be truthful and honest and conversational.
Yeah.
So,
but it was. I think you were saying like maybe
no metaphors.
If you were playing a strumming pattern or something, maybe then you're force fitting a lyric into something to matches that, rather than like what Matt just said, like it's a conversation really.
Yeah, it's like when you're writing a letter to somebody, or you're writing in your journal, or you're typing up an email, or you're writing up a Facebook post, you aren't like playing music to it.
Yeah.
So it's more like that, like you're just spilling stuff. But then you have to keep it really generic. So you can't say, when I was leaving 12th fret music today in Boise, Idaho, it's like, I left the guitar shop today, maybe might work. Or I left the music store. So you have to like really back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody really struggled with this concept. We were all like, ugh.
Matt says that's exactly right, guys.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm still struggling. But
all right, for everybody that's watching, Matt Vanderbo right here has a channel on YouTube called Matt's Music Minute.
That's right.
And Matt,
start at the beginning. Start at episode 1.
Yeah, Matt is, and they're short episodes.
Yeah, they're only like
5 to 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
On average,
yeah,
there's some longer ones.
You're not watching for a half an hour,
and you get a bonus dad joke at the end of the video too. So that
right.
Don't skip ahead to that. But
hey, rock stars!
Yes, Matt Vanderbo here, exactly. So go check out Matt on YouTube. You'll be, and even if you're not writing music for sync licensing, like I think just song construction in general, you could get a lot of great information from Matt.
Yeah,
as far as that goes, and things to consider. So an incredibly great resource right there.
Yes. So that was the writing session.
Yes. So
and we got done with our 3 hours and had nothing.
Oh no.
So then we're like, oh, we're stressed out, and where did here it is. So then, okay, so that was the writing session. Oh, and then we talked about. Then we had other guest speakers, and so we had James Koshin, we had Michael Laskow, who's the owner of Taxi. Jim Thacker is the owner of, I'm not sure if it's Kazan Music Group, a non-exclusive sync agency, and Eric Campbell, owner of Control Plus Camp, an educational and informational sync repository and community, and owner of Sus3, a non-exclusive sync agency. And so at this point, we had Jim and Eric talk about, is AI really going to make us irrelevant?
Whoa. Now, I think there's several subjects inside of all of these things that you participated in that could probably spend several hours just on each of those.
Yes.
Like AI.
Well, I mean, just this session was... that was an hour long. And then so I mean, we can touch back on that if we want later. The next one was James Koshin, writing lyrics from a place of vulnerability. So he does this after we had our 3-hour grueling writing session, which he gave us good information beforehand, so it wasn't like he was setting us up to like struggle. But then we had dinner, and then Jonathan, I think it's Weiss. I'm not sure if it's Weiss or Weiss. What is the music supervisor? And he is the music supervisor for many unscripted reality TV shows, also formerly the head screener of Taxi A&R. So he gave us all sorts of tips on what music supervisors do, what they're looking for, and all that. Then we had some more stories from the group, and then Matt taught us about arrangement strategies for sync, like how he does his flow. Saturday. So that was just Friday.
Wow.
That was just Friday. Saturday Saturday we had classes, and that was the first part of the day. So we had a couple choices for the first session from 9 to 10. I went to Matt's house for Matt's cue writing strategy, and I sat right up next to him, right next to the monitor, and watched every little thing he did. And because I just I would get stuck on the flow at home. I'm like, I don't struggle so much with how to create the song. It's all the sounds that I'm looking for. I really struggle finding all the sounds. And so I was just watching how he did it. And so that was really helpful. And then Todd had a class on working live and remotely with co-writers, because his co-writer, Michelle, lives way up high in Canada. She's really, really far away. So they do all their writing through the internet and but live. Then we had another class. We moved to the audio lab for the next hour, and there was one on recording techniques. They talked about mic placements and stuff like that for singing and whatever. And then I went to Todd's class on music business, and so that's when he talked about what's a PRO and how to get.
What is the PRO?
I'll tell you, Fred. Let me pull up my little thing.
Some of these acronyms and abbreviations. Sometimes we assume people know what those are. It's industry lingo.
Gosh, I took so many notes. Performance rights organization is what.
Performance rights organization
is what a PRO is, and that's like ASCAP and BMI. And so then you get, and I don't remember what IPI stands for. Sorry, is you get that number, and that's what ties all your music. So it's like your social security number for music.
Gotcha.
So that's your IPS. So it's important that you get that. And anyway, he goes on and on about all sorts. That's a deep dive, and that's what I'm still learning on. So it's nothing I can really speak on. So then we had lunch. Then songwriting in our groups again for 2 hours of.
Now, did you do the songwriting stuff here or?
No, it said we could do it anywhere. Some people that lived closer to the audio lab, and so they went off, but my group stayed at the audio lab and worked by the piano. And at that point, by the time we left there to go back to Jump, we had finally come up with, I think we came up with our title the day before, and then it changed on Saturday. And so then we started focusing on that and came up with, I think, what we thought was a chorus and a verse, and maybe either a bridge or another verse. We weren't quite sure what it was yet, or if we even liked it. So then we transferred to Jump, and at that point it was becoming dinner time. And so the girls and I went across to the warehouse and grabbed food while Brian stayed back in these rooms are really cool. We were in the play room, and they have a little area with a keyboard and production stuff back in there that was kind of cool. So Brian just was in there plunking things out, and he basically wrote the song in the hour that we were gone. So we came back, we're like, oh, thank God. Uh-huh. Finally something. And then we had more classes. So movie director Q&A with Vincent Grashaw, and he's a movie director, writer, producer. That was pretty interesting. Let's see, music library Q&A panel with Chuck, Joy, and Ben. So Chuck Henry is a good friend of Matt's and also Taxi Guy, but he has his own music library now. So he's the owner of 10 West Music and an exclusive music library. Joy Basu is the owner of Lab Hits, an exclusive music library, and Ben Kopek, owner of Epitome Music and exclusive music library. And let's see, where are we? And then we did more stories, and then another lesson from James. And then we had gone back to the audio lab. So we were kind of back and forth on Saturday between Jump and audio lab, which are close. And so we did an open mic karaoke thing with Todd. So Todd basically was doing his piano thing. He's just give me a song, and he just play the song, and then we'd go up and karaoke. It was funny.
Well, Todd's really good at that. He can Todd Dunnigan can pull up music on his iPad or computer or whatever he's got.
He's looking at his little phone.
So he's a great musician, and he can just sight read stuff. And I remember I I'm looking forward to the day we don't talk about COVID anymore. But
yeah, he used to do those COVID. His COVID concerts.
Todd used to do these live things on Facebook or whatever, and you could just
request a song,
and he would play it and sing it.
Yeah,
and then he had like a virtual tip jar, so you could send him some money.
And I would always ask him for methods of dance songs.
Yeah,
like something from the 80s.
So that's
he's like, I haven't sung that song in years. Like,
but one thing I want to talk about that you said, you'd mentioned it briefly, is people were talking, and maybe it was I don't want to say coerced, but there was all these discussions of deep personal tragic or really trying times for people that shared really deep personal
with complete strangers.
Now I okay, so that's what
the four of us did not know each other at all. We were meeting each other for the first time.
Yeah, but wasn't this like the entire group was having these?
I thought so.
I mean it all together.
I thought all the groups were having the same.
No. I mean, everybody's together sharing these stories.
Oh yeah. Well, we would have like within our own group, we would be talking about like, what emotion are we going to talk about? And then it's like, oh, well, I had this happen. Oh, and it's like,
no, I'm not talking about the groups broken up.
Then then we would have these story sharing things, and it didn't have to be anything music related. And so when Matt was first asking us to share a story, I was like, I don't have any success stories to share. So
what I want to know. Feel like I'm being Billy Corgan interrupting. Yeah. What I want to know is, you're 20 some people are sitting in a room, and you've got everybody's going around sharing like these tragedies,
not necessarily tragedies,
well, or difficulties or whatever,
just some story,
deep personal things. Like we
were being vulnerable.
I think that I would struggle with that. I've had stuff that's happened in my life, right? But I don't.
There were a lot of tears shed that weekend. It was like I wasn't expecting this at all.
So that you weren't expecting that, but what was the purpose of those discussions with total strangers?
Well, Matt might be able to answer that a little better.
I'm asking you.
I know that, but Matt's here.
Matt can weigh in.
He's still here. I don't know if he's left for school yet, but that was one of the lessons was about writing lyrics from a place of vulnerability.
Okay.
And so I think it is to get you to touch into things that have happened in your life, and those are stories that you can share in songs, or feelings that you had from those experiences.
So do you think the purpose of that whole thing was to stir up something inside of everybody, to
creative something,
to try to get into a mode of songwriting?
Yeah, because some of the stories were like, Todd had shared a story that wasn't sad at all. It started off kind of like, it was like a gut punch, but then it was kind of funny, like in a way. He was sharing a story about when he lived in Seattle, and about performing at like this huge, I think it was a basketball game in an arena, and they were doing something during halftime, and they were getting booed, and they were mortified and humiliated, and like just left up to their green room, just like pissed, and like upset and really embarrassed. And Todd had decided, well, I mean, it was time for them to leave, and because they weren't staying for the whole thing. And he's like, well, now I have to walk past all these people that were just booing us, like to get out of this place. And he decided, I'm just going to do it. I have no choice. And so he walks out, and he like sees some people, and they're like, hey man, that was awesome. Da, 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 da. And then more people. And then they're like, people are taking pictures. And so this walk that he thought was going to be this walk of shame ended up not being. So it ended up being kind of a funny story, but like a good story. And where the other guys didn't experience that. So he was like, so he ended up having a good night. But anyway, there were stories like that. And there were stories that were scary and touching, and a lot of it is just there are stories that like you do have to be pretty open and vulnerable to share that kind of stuff.
Jim Royal is here. Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, I haven't seen you around. We got to connect still.
Okay,
so Matt says, yeah. Whoa, I skipped the first one.
Yep.
All right. Still here. The point to the individual story sharing was to break people out of their comfort zone and give permission to tell deeply moving stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's
getting out of the comfort zone. It really helped create an environment of vulnerability rather than I'm a star, look how successful I am, and I'm so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was the case.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that was the case. Oh. And I'm glad that Matt's still here.
Yeah, Matt.
All right. So you went to this thing, you got broken out into groups, producer, all these feelings being shared and all this mentorship happening. And then at what point do you present the songs to everybody?
So now Sunday morning.
Now
we're to Sunday morning. We did the open mic. That was fun. Matt sang I Like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie. And that was a riot. That was the highlight of the night.
Did you sing?
I did. It was awful.
Oh.
So let's see. The next morning we were supposed to have some stuff, but they decided to redo the schedule. So we spent the morning producing our songs. So now it's go time.
You hadn't recorded yet until
No.
Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Wow.
So I was up bright and early getting everything ready, and you had already prepped some stuff for me. And Brian showed up around, I think, 9:30, and we started laying down the piano tracks, and he played some of our instrumentation, and then the girls showed up and they did some background vocals. And then I had 20 minutes to mix the song and get out the door.
Uh-huh. I think that's
20 minutes.
One thing that I want to touch on real quick is typically writing and recording and sending music in for sync licensing is under a time constraint.
Yeah.
You have a deadline to meet.
Yeah, and that was part of this purpose, was like you have to create something really fast.
I did a show not long ago about working within time constraints. Like, okay, we're going to hire you to do this. We need it done, and it's got to be done right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, I have a lot of time to overthink this. You have to make decisions quickly and go and get it done, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Sunday morning, you get recording, mix in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, it says songs have to be completed by 1:00. So I was back down there.
Did you meet that deadline?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I had to still drive all the way back down to the audio lab. So I had to be, I think I was the furthest away. So I was done by.
You were the furthest away and the first one done, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
She's a Fischer.
Yeah, we were supposed to be, it said 1:00 was our deadline, and then 1:30 to 2:30 was the next class with Matt's brother Lee. And so technically I guess we didn't have to be back until 1:30, which I didn't realize. So I had more time, but it really didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I was done anyway. So I got mine. So we just had to email them to Steve. And so I emailed it and then took off. But then, so we got back down, and Lee Vanderbo, which is Matt's brother. And so Lee, movie director, writer, producer, also former editor for promos at Channel 6 and 9. So he was showing us how he uses music and how fast his deadlines are. Like sometimes he only has a half an hour to create something.
Okay. Well, that's tying in great with what I was talking about, working in time restraints.
So some of the things that we talked about through the weekend was like even just how to name your song so it stands out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of descriptive.
AAA song 1.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
Like they used to do in the phone book.
Song about? But then also the really important thing is what your what your wave file looks like. And so when they open it up, if they just see this big blob of wave, then it's like, where do I edit? Like how do I clip out a segment of this? Because I can't use this whole song. I'm not fading in and out. I'm not like, I need it to have an ending, like little bits. And so they call those edit points. And so they'll look at those, and like if they just see this big long blob, they're not even going to mess with it.
So a lot of decisions are being based off song title and the visual appearance of the waveform, and see if it's even usable. They haven't even heard it.
If it's even worth their 3 seconds that they're going to give it right at the front.
Yeah.
So maybe now the song title got their attention and the wave file got their attention, and now they hit play at the beginning. Is it going to catch their attention in those first 3 seconds?
Okay, now as most musicians who would probably be watching us at the moment or on the replay would probably have a problem with that, because we're songwriters, and how dare they not even listen to my art for 5 seconds or for 1 second?
I have a 30-second intro,
right? And
why are you not listening to my 30-second intro? I only need 3 seconds of the song.
But it's really telling of like how that particular music business works, is making sure your song fits in the right genre of what they're looking for. Yeah. A song title that stands out.
Yeah.
A waveform that looks like it's usable.
Yes.
And they haven't even heard anything yet.
Right.
Versus like maybe a song title might grab your attention and then you want to listen to it and then decide if you want to use it. You
probably want to make sure that the song title kind of matches the vibe of the song too, I would think.
Right.
I think that would be helpful. But yeah, so then they're gonna listen for the first 3 seconds.
Well, today's Dracula Day, and if you were writing music for some Dracula movie,
and it sounds like some whistly thing on a Ozempic commercial. They're gonna give it that 3 seconds and you're out.
Yeah.
So right. So they're gonna listen to it. Like I said, it's like 3 seconds. It's so fast. I mean, think about our attention spans, but you've got a person who's got maybe 100 songs they have to go through, and they've got limited time. I've got an hour to get this thing done. They're going to be just like boop, 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 going through their files of all the songs.
So if they see a song title that fits the vibe of what they're looking for, and then they see a waveform that goes, oh, I can use this. Now you got to make it past the next step of like, I like that.
Yeah,
right? And that's about how
then
much time you get.
They'll scrub through the song and make sure that they want to use the song.
Right. Yeah. So you got to get all the way into the end zone before you find out if you've scored or not.
It sounds like it's a long process, but they're going through that really, really fast.
Yeah.
So that's what one of the things Matt was talking about, and I think that helped. What Lee was talking about, and I think that probably helped Matt a little bit when he was in those early days too, like understanding, oh, this is really how fast they have to make decisions.
So everybody gets their song done. You're at the audio lab recording studio,
so
and you're all going to share this music together.
Yeah.
So now what's happening?
So we're all crowded around in the control room at the audio lab, and we have our sheet, our writing assignment. Ooh, can you see that? Okay. Oh, there we go. And there were 2 options. The other one had more. The first option we chose because it seemed simple and like musically. Mm-hmm. So like you could easily just do it with a piano or just a guitar. Where the other one sounded more like, oh, you're going to need, because this was like more mid up tempo songs about fresh starts, new chapters, yada yada. And so it sounded more like it would have drums and more instrumentation. And also the first listing was Chuck Henry's. And so we were getting early access to this listing that hadn't been actually posted on Taxi yet. So it was just kind of a practice thing. But the funny thing is that listing has now since come out, and the references, nobody had a song that matched the references.
But you got the reference after the fact.
Yes. And it was just so funny. I'm like, we can't even submit this because it doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing a song for it. And Matt, I got to send it to you and you got to let me know if there's anything else I need to do on it. But anyway, so yeah, we sat around and listened to everybody's songs. Did
you guys critique each other's songs?
I think some people gave feedback, but most of the feedback was coming from James and Matt.
Okay.
So like, oh, this is, you should maybe change this here or change that. Because the point of doing this was to be able to submit these for the listings. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that was the whole point.
Well, it was an interesting weekend because you were at this songwriters retreat. I was gone to California to Aquarian Drumheads for some drum clinics and meeting my friends and all of that. And so when you and I got back together on Sunday night, we were both excited just of everything that happened. But you seem more creatively energized right now.
Well, yeah, because the next weekend, I think it was the next weekend. When did I do that? I started working on it had to have been the next weekend. I submitted a song and then I've submitted 2 more things since then. And I've got still working on this project, which we're holding on to it for a listing that is more appropriate.
Have you submitted more songs in the last month than you have ever?
I don't know about ever, but
I mean, like not collectively, but like from year to year. You said earlier. The first year you submitted one thing. You were going to submit one thing a month, and then
I've had, I don't know, because I've done some collabs like with Johnny, but
and Brendan and with Jared and
that was just this time, and then I'm working on one with Johnny now too. So and that's due this week, and so which is actually this option 1. We're creating a new. He wrote a song that I'm supposed to sing, and then and maybe produce. And then I'm working on one that I wrote and I'm producing. And so I got to get those done because they're due Saturday.
Did the retreat reconnect you with something?
Reconnect me with something?
Yeah.
Well, it lit a fire under my butt.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Well, I don't know.
Well, it gave me I felt really energized. And I feel like it pushed me in the right direction to get going again and to get started. And I felt like, okay, now I feel like I've got some tools. There's a lot of stuff that I already knew.
But is that what happened when creative people get around other creative people?
Sure. Yeah. And I think, and that was part of the reason, that he was talking about that first night was having relationships and working with other musicians and collaborating so that you can do these things and get them done and get them submitted. And, Todd and Michelle write a lot of music. They write a lot of music. And
so Todd and Michelle are known as true swans for those out there that are curious.
Yeah. And they've had a lot of success. And then Brendan has been having.
But it didn't happen overnight.
But once it's once you figure out your formula, then it's you get really good at it and get fast and then there's libraries that are we want that.
Just Matt has his process.
And so then at some point, the whole taxi part gets bypassed because now this library wants to work with you directly, and then they're not even sending. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't even send that to taxi. Maybe they just go right to them and say, what do you have? Because they're not, like I said, they're not just looking for. They're also looking for singer-songwriter stuff. Some of it might be for pitch. I don't know, but.
Well, last week on the show when Jim Reidenbaugh was here, it was kind of like a flip thing where he was interviewing me, but we talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people, the people that are in your circle. And I think with the Boise Music Group, I think that's what we called it, but Matt's kind of
we call it the taxi group.
The taxi group, but
the Boise Music Group is more of what the retreat was. It's more because not everybody is probably going to join taxi.
But Matt's really our ringleader of this whole thing, and
the ringleader.
And our mentor. He's our mentor. He's our buddy.
He's our buddy.
It's really cool because I knew Matt back when he was in the local band scene. That's where I had first met him. But when you surround yourself with like-minded people, mm-hmm. to keep moving forward, the networking thing is mm-hmm. so crucial in the success that you want to have. Mm-hmm. So how do you view your future now?
Gosh, these are weird questions, dude. I view my future. I don't know.
These are weird questions because you and I already know the answer to that.
Well, here's the thing is, you can write all these songs and submit them, and that doesn't mean they're ever going to get used.
Sure.
And so they go through this process, this screening process, and they're like, does the screener feel like what you've submitted matches what the library or the music supervisor is looking for? Yes or no? They may like the song, but it's not what they're looking for. And so you either get a forward where the song gets forwarded on to that person who's requested it, or it gets a return. They send it back to you and say, we liked this. You could change it or improve your song by doing this. I returned it for this reason. Mm-hmm. Or really liked it, nailed it, whatever. I don't know. And then we forwarded it on. Yay! So forward is great. Forward doesn't mean that your song is going to get used. It just means now the music library or the music supervisor has it in their catalog of stuff.
Yeah, now it's in their hands.
Now it's in their computer. Now it's in their thing where they're going do. What's the title? What's the waveform look like? What does it sound like in the first 3 seconds? Now you've put it into that group now. And so so like Matt can tell you he had I don't know, he tells a story. He had 70 returns in a row or something. Like it was like failure after failure after failure. It's like and then something clicked and he figured it out. And then it was boom, boom, boom. He started doing really well and making money, and you get the royalties and some upfront stuff. And, but so I'm in those early stages still.
Well, it's kind of like
you've got to write it, and then you've got to submit it. You've got to just kind of forget about it while you keep making more stuff. So
it's almost like you have to write the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. I mean, that's a very general approach, but
right. But it doesn't mean that what you created was bad. It just may not have been right mm-hmm. for what they did.
Yeah.
For what they're looking for. I mean, so I wrote 3 things and submitted them, and they've all been returned. So I'm like, all right. And I collaborated on all of it. Well, except for the first thing, I didn't collab, but I was doing that really fast. I think I had that done in 48 hours or something. I had very little time to create it. So, but the other 2 songs were disappointing. Because I did have more time to work on them, and I collaborated. But you never know what's going to get forwarded. Sometimes the stuff that you think is awful is what gets forwarded. And you're like, how come this other thing that I love so much it got returned? And so that was one thing James talks about. He calls it undating your song. It's like you created it and it's cool. You can like it, but you can't let your life revolve around it.
Be so attached to it.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about how he wrote something for it was a big listing and it would have been a good payout. Mm-hmm. And he was on a trip to the Bahamas or somewhere, and his entire trip, he kept checking his email, looking to see if he'd gotten any response. And he never got a response until after he got back. But he's like, I ruined my vacation.
Because he dwelled on it?
Because he was so focused on it. So he calls it undating. So not undating it's like undating, breaking up with somebody is more like that. Like you're not dating it anymore. You're not going out with it.
Right.
Yeah. Forget about it.
Well, what's Matt's motto?
Well, I don't think I think it's something that they all say in Taxi is write, submit, forget, repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the amount of music that you need to be writing and submitting is huge.
Well, he was doing hundreds of songs a year.
Yeah.
So,
but it took that kind of motivation and dedication to. I don't know if Gene Simmons can be credited with this, but Gene Simmons said a lot of times the music business is 90% perspiration and 10% inspiration, meaning you just have to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, even when you don't feel like it, you have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So what does momentum play in your creativity?
I think it's really important. Really, it's 100%.
Now we know from Todd and Michelle, like,
yeah, they have a schedule.
They have a schedule, like they're going to work's kind of a schedule.
It is their work.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Michelle has any other job besides that. And I don't think Todd does. I'm not sure.
I got to get Todd on this show.
I know. We got to get Todd and Michelle. Both of them, because you can Zoom her in or whatever.
Yeah.
You can put her in. But yeah, they would be great. But they have, I can't remember their schedules. Like Monday, they get up and they get in and they just log on and start working. And they have like a whole routine. And they're very diligent and very disciplined about doing it. They put out a lot of stuff. And Matt, Matt too. Matt, when he got started, he lived in a different house and he had a shed that he had built that was his studio, and which I think it's about the size of the shed we're going to build. We should have just bought his shed. Dang it.
Well, somebody else owns that shed.
I know, that's true.
Probably has a lawnmower in it.
Yeah, probably smells like gas, oil. Anyway, but like it took him longer in the beginning to create all these songs, and now he on Saturday morning when we went to his house, he had an hour. Yeah, he had an hour to create an instrumental cue, like a 90-second.
Mm-hmm.
It was either 60 or 90-second instrumental cue.
But it's like I said earlier,
if we hadn't been talking, like that, he would do something and then be like, "Oh, what did you do there?" Da, da, da. Like if we had just been silent and watched him work, he easily would have been done in that hour. But he went back afterwards and finished up because he wasn't quite done with it. But he was really close to being done in an hour.
Well, I want to shift gears for a moment. So the heading of our next little discussion is going to be life and creativity together, meaning you and I in our creativity. Okay. One common theme throughout 3.5 years of the Drummergy podcast is you and I are both musicians.
Okay.
And we have children who are musicians, and all of our friends mostly are musicians.
Okay.
And we're not without our quarrels.
Okay.
But what is it like having music constantly happening in the house?
I'm used to it, I guess.
You're used to it.
I do.
I found this old video where
I get tired of hearing drumming constantly, so I have to like go in the house and do something else. But like my time to be creative is in the morning, so I have to be left, like if I'm going to be able to do it, I have to be left alone. I can't be like, oh, I need to be driven here and let's go get a coffee and go out to breakfast or something. It's like, well, that cuts into my creativity time. So nobody considers that.
Maybe I just send you to breakfast while I'm teaching. Here, go have breakfast.
Well, that would be lunch.
I found an old video, when memories pop up on Facebook, of me upstairs and Christian's drumming. You can hear him drumming behind the door, just brrr. And at the same time, Ian is in the living room with his contra tuba recording assignment stuff for a battalion. And then I think I came out here and you were doing some music stuff in the studio. And I was like, this is the Fischer house. Do we critique each other's work? Obviously, you critique my work.
Yes. Yeah.
There is no pressure greater than sitting in a studio recording drums with an engineer on the other side of the glass, and that engineer is your wife. And she's got her arms like this. She's got...
I'm not sitting like that. I'm usually...
Oh, can I... It's... This is kind of this.
Yeah, because I have to look around.
Looking around the monitor going. And then she goes,
can you try that again, but this time do it better?
Can you do that again, but in time? I don't like that fill that you just played.
That is the same drum fill you play all the time. Come up with something.
Maybe
new.
If you went do 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 bum bum ba da da bum, like that. That's this is these are the.
This is all true.
And or what's worse is if she's talking but she's not pushing the talk back button, and I just see.
Or I'm pushing the button and it's just I just let go of it while I'm still talking.
Yeah. What you really need to do is
I wish I could just switch on and like stay on, but then I'd probably leave it on.
You would leave it on,
right? You'd hear yourself,
and I'd hear this. Or while I'm taking a take, she's like
eating something.
She's not even paying attention. She's like,
and then it'll be like, how's that? And I'm like, well, how did you feel about it? Well, I don't know about this one part.
Were you really? Are you happy with that?
How'd you feel?
Usually, if she's asking if I was happy with something, she's like, "Well, that was good."
But were you happy with it?
Was it good or good enough?
It could have been better. It's like,
you really want to send that to your client?
How much effort do I want to put into? How long do I want to sit here?
Greg says, "Hurry up and get this take done. You got to mow the lawn."
Exactly. Exactly. It's almost like, we've got an hour and a half or something to track something, and it's like he'll do a first pass. I'm like, how'd you feel about that one?
Right.
And he's like, pretty good, except for this one thing. Okay, let's do another take.
Yeah.
And then it might morph into,
right.
Yeah, that drum fill. I don't like that drum fill. It's not creative enough. Let's do something better.
Has producing music changed the way you listen to music?
Yeah. Yeah, because I hear things that I listen more for like all the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to love all the sounds to begin with as like a conglomeration, right? But I remember even like in the 90s listening to Sarah McLachlan's album, is it Surfacing? It was the one that had Possession on it, her big breakout album that she had. And there was like, I'd hear sounds in it going, what is that? Like what? That doesn't sound like a normal instrument. Like what are they doing to create all these sounds? Sometimes it sounds like a door slamming, or there's just other things that like they're used that is like instrumental, but I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
What are they doing? And so I just became really fascinated with that. But like, but now like mixing stuff, and I, we had a couple friends mentor me quite a bit in those beginning year when I was working, and like Scott would be like, well, I mean, just like, can't you hear the such and such, or can't you hear the when the compressor does this? I'm like, no, not at all.
Uh-huh.
Or can't you tell that this is over here and that's over there? I'm like, no, how are you hearing that? And like your ears just start listening for things and like picking up on stuff that like the average person doesn't hear it that same way.
Yeah.
And so I'll hear things like that now, like, ooh, I love how they panned that, or wow, the reverb on that's really cool. Like that's, or the delay, or
or the different types of reverbs even that they're using. Like you start picking those things out.
Yeah. Compression was something I really struggled with understanding, because, like, I don't know what that is. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I understood EQ. Like that makes sense. But there were like so many concepts in the beginning that I'm like, I don't even understand what that means. Like what's happening? Like, and a lot of people, I guess, struggle with that in the beginning. Like, what is compression? And so yeah, once I kind of figured out that.
I really have a hard time listening to music just recreationally. Like back when I don't know if it's just related to like just surface listening, but I wasn't listening to all the finer details of like how things are panned or the tone of the drums necessarily. Sure. I just liked the song or the band as a whole. And so I'd be really into that. And then you'd go to a concert, you just be mesmerized, and now you're seeing this. But then when you start doing your own concerts and you know what's going on behind the curtain, you're like looking for what's going on behind the curtain. Right?
Did you see what they did right there?
Oh, did you?
Oh,
the tech just brought the guitar and swapped it out, and you could barely tell. Or
oh crap, he just broke drumhead.
You would like before the concert start, you'd see people climbing up into the lighting trusses, and they would have a seat to sit on. Now this is before their automation really took over, but there would be like follow spots, and people would be and so you start paying attention to all the stuff that's kind of going on in the peripheral. And then I started doing that when I'm listening to music, like when I go out and walk, and I'll be listening to the new Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm like, can you just listen? Like I'll start listening to a song, and then I'll hear something and my mind will wander, and I'll be thinking about that thing, and then next thing I know, the next song's starting, and I didn't really pay attention to the song.
For me, it depends on how I'm listening to it. So like if I'm listening to it in the car, if I'm listening to something in the shower, I'm listening to it as a whole, and I'm not necessarily studying it unless I'm trying to learn it. Unless it's like a song I'm trying to learn. So, but if I have headphones on, if it's like right here, then I'm like literally
you're inside of it.
I'm almost like looking around like, ooh, that was really cool. That over there, like, oh, did you hear how that goes back and forth?
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so I'll listen to more of the production stuff of it. But like the first thing that ever grabs me in a song is usually the instrumentation, because it's usually what you hear first. Some songs nowadays, some of them are starting right off with singing, but usually there's some sort of an introduction, like 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And if that grabs me right away, then I'm listening. But sometimes like progressions, like if a progression is really cool, I just lose my mind. Guitar tones, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's just some songs out there. I'm like, oh, the way they go from that chord to that chord. It's like, I love that.
Yeah. Funny studio habits or frustrations?
Funny studio habits or frustrations? You mean like from just anybody that comes in, or
however you interpret the question is fine? Okay. Because these seem like weird questions because we're married and we're together like constantly.
As the person sitting behind the glass tracking somebody, frustrations are when somebody comes in unprepared.
Yeah.
We had somebody come through once.
That drives me crazy too.
And we said, be prepared. And some people charge by the hour. So if you're charging by the hour, like it's $50 an hour or whatever to come and record, like you better be prepared, because that literally time is money, right? Like you're spending money. Like I could sit here all day and charge you by the hour. And then, if you've got unlimited funds, cool. But if you come in and like, if we're just charging a flat rate for a song and you come in and it's taking all freaking day to record a piano part, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to at some point give up. Like know your song, have your song ready. This isn't a writing session. It's you're coming in and tracking. So have it down, like know it and have it perfect. And if you've got other instrumentalists coming in, they need to know their stuff and come in and play it as perfect as possible. Obviously people screw up, but like to come in and be like, oh, I don't know, like maybe you should play that chord instead of that chord. It's like, just have it worked out. Know it. Like you should be able to perform it. You should be able to perform it. Like you should have it good enough that you can play this live in a performance. And then, we can maybe tweak some things or whatever, but like, please don't come in and think you're doing a writing session. Nobody's got time for that. That's old school.
Right. I know with bands I've been in, this is pre us having the ability to record here, but like when we were spending a lot of money to go record with somebody, we had in our mind, okay, it's going to take approximately this long to load in. And then this long for the engineer to get the microphones around or whatever. Yeah. And that person's got to be left alone to do that, right? Yeah, you can't just constantly interrupt them with,
oh, hey man, we're at the
so what have you been doing the last 6 months? And because we want to be respectful of those people's time as well. Yeah. Not only that, but
don't assume that they have their entire day to work on your project.
And there
might be somebody else scheduled to come later, or they may have something else going on later in the day that they need to get to.
Recording studios, regardless if it's what we have here, or you're going to the audio lab, or you're flying somewhere to go record, is the overall vibe and everything is going to be so much better if everybody's respectful of the other person's time and you make it simple. And that goes back to knowing the songs. Can you get in there? Can you play in time? Like drummers, come on. You got to be, drummers got to be, that's.
Yeah, here's the thing with,
this is for you.
Yeah,
you got to be like nailing time.
And so here's a frustration, right? So we talk about playing with the click versus not playing with the click. And if your whole band is coming in and recording all at once and you don't want to play with the click, cool. Don't expect to be able to punch in. Just do your take, be done, right? But when
editing's way harder, even if it's that.
Yeah. So like even just one instrument, I'll have somebody come in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna play this, and I don't need the click. And my timing's pretty good." Okay. So they play along, and the whole part was perfect except for these two spots. It's like, I fat fingered or whatever, or I didn't play it quite right, and they want to punch it in. Well, now there's no click. So what happens when they punch it in is, as soon as, I could go in and do a different track. I could do that, and then they could still hear themselves, but then that distracts them. Mm-hmm. But like the way the punch in works is like, you'll hear that playing along, and you can even play along with yourself. But then once it starts recording in that little blob, where you're trying to fix, that sound goes away. And like, so you have no sense of time anymore. Mm-hmm. And so if you played it a little slow or whatever, like, so like they had this one guy with piano, and it's like, it just kept, I had to keep redoing it over and over because he couldn't play in the same time that he played before. But if he'd been playing with a click, it would have been a piece of cake. Yeah. So for simplicity, there's like a thing flying around, for simplicity, like, and to keep things just easy, just learn to play with a click and record with a click. That's just so much easier. Unless you're just playing live and you're just going to do it live, and it is what it is, and cool. But like, don't expect to be able to punch in and have great success at it. It's going to take some more time. My there's some time alignment you can do, but like, are you going to sit there and screw around with time alignment while the person's tracking? Like, that's something I would do after they left. Mm-hmm. And it's just faster. Just.
Greg says some of his clients write in the studio, and he enjoys that process. Well,
he also says compression is literally the hardest thing to grasp because it's completely dependent upon the source material. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there are some people who will spend money and buy a block of time at a studio, and they'll go in and write and record whatever. But if you know that ahead of time,
right? If that's the arrangement, that's totally fine.
But if somebody says, "Hey, I got a song I want to record," and you say, "Okay, well, let's say you do a song for $1,000," and you think, okay, you're gonna get that whole thing tracked one day, and then maybe the next day you're gonna start getting it edited or cleaned up, and then you're going to mix it and whatever. Mm-hmm. And so that's like $250 a day, right?
Sure. Okay.
And that's really affordable, actually. But if that process stretches out for several weeks, because now you just got yourself in the foot.
Just went to minimum wage.
Yeah. Or like, you can work at McDonald's and be happier, right? But I think if you go in and you're really well prepared and rehearsed to record a song, and then inspiration strikes, and you say, "Hey, band, let's make this little change," and everybody knows that song so well, they can go, "Oh, okay, cool."
But when you tell the person that you're recording with that, like, yeah, we have the song is ready, and then they come in and it turns into a writing session, or it turns into the guitarist doesn't even know how the song goes. And they're brought in, and it's like, oh my gosh, I could have played it by now. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's then your hourly rate just suddenly goes.
Well, that comes down to like, what's the arrangement? What's the expectation? Mm-hmm. And
yeah, somebody wants to come and have a writing session. Sure, here's my rate, and I can run the track.
Okay, so that's the answer I was hoping Greg would have. I don't flat rate for those types of things, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's all on the meter. Yeah. So they're paying for Greg's time to sit there. Right. And so he knows that going into it, right?
Yes.
Which that's a And I think that probably most studios probably, well, I don't know. I could just only relate it to what I've done, but for Midline or Cure for the Fall or anybody, is those songs are known like the back of our hand when we go in and record them. And so I think those people that we've worked with in the past to do those know that about us. And so they can say, we're going to do a song for X amount of dollars, and they'll have a pretty good idea in their head about our process. And so they feel comfortable with that. But other than that, like if somebody says, yeah, you want to be here, you're going to pay me this much per hour.
Well, we've had drummers come in and they play to the click and they already know their song.
Yeah.
But they might have the rest of the band might be here because they're making sure he does it right.
Yeah.
And so there might be a part where they're like, yeah, that was great. But remember on the one part, you were playing this instead of that. Okay.
Yeah.
and that's fine. And they usually are still done in an hour, it's just one song or whatever. But it's just, what was the other question? It was frustrations or what?
Funny studio habits or frustrations.
Funny studio habits. Like,
I think just because of the frequency of some of the people
the
being
funny
here.
thing is more on singers.
Okay.
But some people don't. Well, it can be when you have a live mic in a room, you got to be really careful on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. You can't fart.
I don't think I've had that happen yet, but I've had people, they do weird things like
click
in between.
Their teeth.
Yeah, they click their teeth between phrases. And it's like, and I got to go in and I got to cut that out. And it's a lot.
Clicking tongues, smacking lips.
Sometimes mouth noises, and that's just like sometimes you can't help that. And then I've had some kids come in and like they're playing with something, and so you can hear that noise, and I don't.
Oh, it's my bracelets. You can hear my bracelets.
Yeah, so like
my necklaces.
Yeah, so things like that. That what's frustrating is I don't hear it when it's being tracked, and then I
kind of like you're playing with your hair right now, but it's something noisy.
Yeah, and so I might be listening back and go. The thing that really drives me nuts is when I can hear the click coming out of their headphones. It's like, oh man, we got to turn that down and we got to do it again because I can't get rid of that.
I like the click loud in my ears.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear that bleeding through.
Yeah. That can't be good for your hearing.
What?
Maybe you need to get one of those little wrist ones. It's like,
no.
My watch does a weird, like,
I think
vibrates or something on my wrist when something's coming up.
So I think one thing that helps in the recording process is even when things are going wrong or there's some frustrations, like you and I know each other so well that we're pretty free in our screw you attitude sometimes, which would never happen with clients in the room. But sometimes there's like little sayings that we'll say, like, it's just a click away because we got that from James Lancaster, or we'll start talking in an English accent, like, I can't hear the bass, and things like that. But that adds some levity to the situation and makes those easier to get through. So
well, I think the atmosphere should always be relaxed. Because you can't, if you're stressed out or tense, you just can't. It's hard to get a good performance out of somebody.
Well, one thing that I have on here is like, how important is the environment?
I think it's really important.
I think
even just when I'm doing my own recordings, like if I've got you in here trying to run the stuff and I'm trying to sing something in the other room, it's like, because like you're like, oh, okay, now where do I go? I'm like, yeah. Because I know I could just do it really fast.
Well, that's because
I get frustrated. So I just end up tracking my vocal in right next to my computer.
Yeah. Well, your patience with me could be low, and vice versa. But I think the environment that you play music in is really important to the creativity of music.
Yeah.
And
well, for singers, like if you're stressed out, your throat will, you can't really feel it necessarily, but you can tighten up.
Yeah.
And you could just be stressed out about something and like, I can't perform, or you're anxious, or like maybe your heart is beating weird that day. And I had one time I was trying to track something and like my heart was just like palpitating and being weird. It was just like, I wasn't nervous or anything, but it was just a strange thing that was going on. And I could not sing because everything was coming out like really shaky and weird and like tight, and like, I just cannot do this today. So
Greg says, I would pull all the tongue clicks, smacking lips, coffee sips, long breaths, and all the junk onto a compilation track and save it.
Posterity.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That could be like, you could put that in a horror movie.
Well,
all those different sounds.
You've obviously got like, when you're singing something and you've got like, oh, here's the instrumental part before the next verse comes in. You might be like,
right.
Like you've got some time.
Knowing that they're going to edit that out.
Yeah, exactly. But like, if you're literally actively singing and you're doing like, la, 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 it's like, be aware of what you're doing, for crying out loud. It's recording you.
Well, we have a recording of that just now. Maybe we could send it to Greg and he'll make a comp track of your goofiness. And here's Mary.
And then let's throw a compressor on it so it's extra loud.
Oh. And some reverb, like you're in a cavernous
and a
cave.
wee bit of delay.
So you have this. All right, so the Boise Music Songwriters Retreat.
Yeah,
that was the first one.
That was the first one. We plan on doing it again next spring.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if they've already. Matt's probably gone off to school at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if they've already booked for next year or not. So.
Would you encourage people to attend?
I would. If you're interested in it. Well, specifically sync, because we were working on sync stuff. So if you're interested in sync music, definitely.
Now sync is SYNC.
Yeah, not
short,
not the kitchen
for
sink.
synchronization.
Not like you're throwing everything in the kitchen sink. Yeah, not that.
Because they're syncing the music with video. Yeah. So that's.
If you want to learn more about the sync world, go to taxi.com, go to Matt's Music Minute, or go to mattvanderbo.com. I think it's mattvanderbo.com, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Vanderbo. I think it's. Oh, let's pull it up here. Matt Vanderbo.
Matt Vanderbo. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's vanderbo.com.
Vanderbo.com.
And Bo, it's so Vander, Vander, B like boy, OE like Edward, GH.com.
Yeah.
Matthew C. Vanderbo.
Matthew C. Oh, we got to find out what the C stands for.
So there's Matt.
And there's his tank top.
Yeah, well, one of them. That's a hoodie one. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to have you on to talk about that because you were so fired up, and then you've worked on several pieces of music, and some that you've turned in, and some that are in process, and
I've got three in process right now.
I've always
this week.
Well, I've always been impressed by how you get excited about something and just dive in and work on it, and that's it's fun to see and witness all of that happening. So thank you, producer. Producer is going to be gone next week. Wait.
No, not next week, is it? What's next week?
Next week is
in 2 weeks.
Okay.
The 9th. Yeah.
Now, see, I have to confirm this, but I'm pretty confident. Now my phone's doing this verify update thing. I can't even.
Oh boy!
Dang it!
What are you trying to find?
Well, next week.
Next week,
I will have a guest here, Mr. Dave Goff, drummer Dave Goff. which is going to be a great discussion because
and we got to make sure he talks about his Audio Lab experience at the original Audio Lab.
We do.
He's got a funny story to tell.
We do. But Dave is the whole reason I got involved with music to begin with.
Drums.
Yep. Playing drums. My very first drum lessons were with Dave Goff.
There you go.
And it's going to be so cool to have him here. And you guys can see just how excited he is about drums still.
He still plays.
All these years later. So thanks for hanging out, producer, on camera this time. And we will see you next week.
Okay.
Oh, don't forget to go to 12th Fret Music.
That's right. What time is it? Maybe
and there's the website for 12thfretmusic.com scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And go down there and say hi to Rob and the guys.
And they are the sponsor
of the Drummergy podcast. Yep. Yeah. So thanks, guys, for hanging out. And also, I would just add real quick that I have almost all of these episodes now, the audio version up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. So you can go to any of those and put in the Drummergy podcast, and whichever one you prefer to listen to podcasts on, if you give a little subscription action or
hit that subscribe
follow
button.
Or whatever it is.
Like and subscribe.
We appreciate you guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Nighty night.